Hi, I'm Brian Hittney, a solution architect at Microsoft focused on data and analytics. Today, we're continuing our Power BI Partner Showcase series with MAQ Software. MAQ offers both services and solutions to accelerate analytical and BI initiatives. In this episode, we're highlighting their solution EmbedFAST, designed to accelerate embedding Power BI into solutions. And we spoke with Keshav and Arpita at MAQ Software, and they give us a tour of their platform and industry insights. Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Microsoft Partner Showcase. I'm Brian Hittney, a solution architect focused on data and analytics, and I'm joined with my colleague, Chris Mitchell, who is also a solution architect focused on data analytics. And today we're welcoming MAQ Software to our episode. And MAQ Software is going to talk to us about their solution, EmbedFAST. And Keshav and Arpita are here to discuss that. And guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me here. I'm honored to be part of this Partner Showcase episode. I'm Keshav. I'm Director of Data and Analytics and a Solution Architect driving digital transformation with various customers. I'm joined by Arpita, who manages our data analytics practice.
Well, it's awesome to have you guys. So why don't you take us a little bit through MAQ Software as an overview of what you guys do and talk a little bit about the Power BI embedded space, the challenge that you saw, and the evolution of EmbedFAST.
Sounds good. I'll switch to my slides. MAQ Software is a specialized solution integrator and ISV partner of Microsoft. We have been in business for the last 23 years. We were founded in the year 2000 with 4 globally integrated centers focused on innovation and adopting the latest technologies. We were recognized as a Power BI Partner of the Year in the year 2021. We specialize in reporting and analytics, AI, machine learning, data modernization, cloud security, building low-code solutions with Dynamics and Power Platform, and modern cloud-native apps. Over the years, we have built reusable IP and built business domain to be an advisory partner to many customers in technology, finance, retail, healthcare, manufacturing, to name a few industries. We were recognized by Puget Sound Business Journal as one of the fastest growing private company and have made it 11 times in Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies. As an SI or a solution integrator, we get to work with many customers and hear their challenges, which gives us the opportunity to build SaaS solutions and accelerators to solve their problem. One such scenario came from our work with ISVs wanting to integrate Power BI as their analytics tool in their product. We hear common feedback from every customer that it requires high level of technical expertise on Power BI APIs. Integration can get very complex with their application. Security and customer isolation takes time and effort. And initial development investment is very high, and the ongoing maintenance can tend to be very expensive. And introducing EmbedFAST, which addresses all these issues.
Hey, that's really interesting, Keshav. I had a question real quick, if you didn't mind. You mentioned something that I think we see a lot when we work with partners and customers that are trying to implement Power BI embedded is that there's the Power BI platform by itself is super powerful, but there's a lot of things that when you want to make it part of a native part of an application that we don't address. And that's typically where a lot of the time is spent in implementation. I'm curious if you've got any results that you've noticed working with customers about how much this accelerates. Like, do you have 3x or 5x acceleration of implementation of Power BI embedded? I'd love any insights you have there.
We have seen close to 4 to 6x acceleration, depending on the type of customers we work with and how complex the integration can get. Mm-hmm. But we have seen very, very positive results and feedback from customer of using this accelerator.
Yeah, that's awesome. When time to market is really important, I'm sure that you'll find that the cost of the solution is fairly nominal by comparison to the amount of acceleration you get in time to market. That's great.
Yeah, and that's been one of our, I would say, important factor, and especially when customers are trying to get to an initial proof of concept or evaluation phase, this really helps them make or get to a decision very, very quickly. Otherwise,
Sure.
it takes them a very long time to make a decision. I wanted to introduce the EmbedFAST Solution Accelerator. I'll play a small video.
Organizations around the world, specifically ISVs, require analytics to drive their operations, and many use Power BI as a tool to do so. Integrating Power BI into your apps can boost efficiency, but it has its own challenges. Such a solution requires a deep understanding of Power BI APIs and exceptional development skills. Building this expertise along with the API takes time, and the initial development cost is high. But we have a better solution that saves you from these hassles. We've done the hard work, so you don't have to. Introducing the EmbedFAST, a Power BI embedded API designed for ISVs. Seamlessly integrate the EmbedFAST into your existing applications and say goodbye to your customization troubles. Thanks to our built-in role-based access management, you can ensure that the right people have the right access to reports in just a few clicks. The EmbedFAST empowers you to onboard unlimited customer tenants, allowing your organization to grow with ease. Each workspace is isolated, ensuring absolute dataset privacy. With EmbedFAST, you get the best of Power BI and more. Gain complete access to authoring and customizing Power BI reports. No extra Power BI licenses are needed for report editors and sharers. Focus more on your work and less on licenses. Effortlessly set up email subscriptions with the EmbedFAST to make sure your customers get the information they need as scheduled. We created the EmbedFAST to improve your entire process, so you can focus on what truly matters, extracting valuable insights and driving business success for you and your customers. Experience a new level of integration and management for your organization. Try the EmbedFAST today.
Great.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty cool. You definitely in that video highlight on a couple things that I hear are common asks from ISVs implementing Power BI. I think one of them that you called out was the scheduled report delivery, which is something that normally requires you to have a login to Power BI. So that's a common ask. And then the other one I hear a lot about is if I want to do like report level authorization. And I'm not talking about the row level security, which you can do in Power BI, but I'm talking about like, hey, a user needs access to reports A and B, but not C. And typically we only do security at a workspace level. So those are two really common ones that I hear a lot. I'm curious from your perspective, Keshav and Arpita, are there other ones that you hear very common from customers that are looking at your solution?
Why don't I walk you through the application and we'll
Sure,
talk
yeah,
about
that would be great.
Yeah.
So I want to add a caveat that our first version of the application is going to be the app service layer only. We are working on building the front end, I would say components, which would be released in Q1 of 2024. This is an experience using the APIs, and most of the components have been integrated in this experience. So to begin with, let me log in to the application. So when I log in, you can see that the application is using my token. So it recognizes me as Keshav at MAQsoftware.com. There is a home page. On this home page, you have content that's being read from the API, which shows me my personal content, whether the reports that I have access to, dashboards, and datasets. It has a navigation pane where I can read different artifacts and display them. Let's get into a report. I have 3 reports that I have access to, starting with the banking report. So this is a PBIX report that I can embed within this pane. And you can see that it seamlessly integrates and takes my context. As a user, I have ability to show or hide filter panel. I can show or hide navigation pane. I can show bookmarks if I need to. And I can interact with this report as I would do on Power BI app service. So I clicked on a bookmark within the report. It took me to a detailed view. And now I can apply any filters. I can interact with the information. Now, when I do this, coming to the first capability that I've heard customers ask for is there a way for me to share my current experience with my peers and others within the organization? We are using the bookmark capability of Power BI and using a custom implementation where I am able to save the current state. Let's name this as Indian Bank. And I have this view or experience saved for myself. If I go back to my default view, and now I want to really look or go back to the view that I was looking at, now I can click on this bookmark, which will take me to the exact same experience that I had previously. So this is one of the most asked feature and capability. And in addition, I have ability to share this with everybody in my organization or my team. So when I do this, now others will be able to actually look at shared bookmarks under this tab. So this is one of the most common capabilities that customers ask for.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like preserve all my filter context and my current tab and click behavior, and then encapsulate all that up in a bookmark and share it with people. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Now, even better with bookmarks is personalizing the visuals. So I have this specific visual and I don't want it to be a stacked bar. I can actually change this to, let's say, a grid. And this will display a simple grid. Now, this is what I want to see every time I come to my experience. I can go and save this current view. And now every time I go back to my bookmark, this will always show me the grid that I had selected. So it kind of helps with personalization, and every user who has a different need and requirement to be displayed can be met with a single report. So the customer doesn't have to create multiple copies of the same report.
Cool.
The second capability I think you called out was subscription. And that's probably the most asked capability. And what we have done is we have created an experience for users to create their own subscription. So I have ability to add a new subscription. Let me say demo sub. I can add recipients, subject, some text. I can pick the tab I want to subscribe to, when I want to schedule this. And I can save this. Now this will start sending me attachments at the scheduled time. So we made it very, very simple for end users to create the whole subscription. And I can run this at this immediately, and within the next few minutes, I should get an attachment.
That's really cool. So I'm assuming that that'll save your current slice and filter context. So like whatever bookmarks you have set or whatever, and it'll run the subscription as that filter settings.
That is correct.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, and as you've said, I would say that's probably one of the most common asks that I hear when implementing Power BI embedded.
Yes. The next one I wanted to show you was, it's not just Power BI or PBIX reports, but we can also embed paginated reports. And a lot of customers actually need this to get pixel perfect reports and experiences. And with this experience, you can basically have both type of reports integrated within one application.
Great.
Third capability that a lot of customers ask for are related to export. And I'm going to go back to this report. And let me just go into one of the views. I'm going to come to the export in just a second. I'm going to first create a new report. So I have data sets. So the reason I want to switch to dataset view is to talk about the third capability, that is ability to build your own reports. So customers wanting their users to build their own reports is again one of the most asked capability. This basically addresses the self-service requirements and needs. You would see that I have two data sets I have been provided access. Superstore and banking report. For Superstore, I don't have ability to save anything. I can only see tables. This is basically meant for viewing, which means I can create simple grids and explore. But when I go to banking report, I have actual ability to save this as well. You can see this panel up here. So this is by purpose, and I'll talk about how this access management is done through this application. But before that, let me drag and drop some fields and let's try to create a quick chart here. I'm going to create a grid. Apparently, I love grids. So now I want to save this report. I can go ahead, I can save as, I can do a demo. And when I save this, it will start showing up in my experience immediately. So you can see this demo report that I created. And now when I go here, I will have the ability to use this. You can see I have export and other capabilities enabled on this because this is my report. And here I can export with default values or whatever I select from in 3 different formats, PDF, PowerPoint, and PNG. So let me export this as a PNG. So it will give me a nice, very clear and sharp image of this export. While this is completing, the reason I wanted to show both the data sets was that this application has a complete package of access management. So that's been one of the challenges that I've heard from every customer is how do I build my own authorization, especially with app owns data. Authorization has to be managed by the application, and many of them don't have that set up. And this EmbedFAST really gives them an accelerator to leverage and enhance, and can either use the default capabilities or make tweaks and enhance. This takes me to, and before I do that, let me open the file.
Yeah, and what I hear there a lot too is that Power BI by default gives you a very like workspace centric authorization model, but a lot of times customers have more sophisticated security. You know, they might have like multiple layers deep of security and you know, like a tiered folder structure where Power BI by default is a very flat structure. It's just workspace and reports. And so building in those custom, you know, navigations and then security by report level or report page level instead of at the you know, at the workspace level is a really common ask. Have you seen that a lot too?
Yes. Yeah. And that's been one of the challenges because as an ISV, you need ability and capability to manage security at an individual object level, which unfortunately in the SaaS experience we don't have.
Right.
But Embed thankfully allows you to add an additional layer on top of the default security.
Right.
And we are leveraging that wrapper to basically define access at an individual object level. And I'm going to actually switch into access management since we were talking about that. I'm switching to an admin capability here. You'll see that we have enabled tenant, roles, branding, and theme. Branding and theme are coming soon, where you could define a theme for a specific tenant, define a specific branding for a customer or a tenant. Right now, I have 3 tenants set up. I am part of MAQ Software Finance tenant. When I go into configuration, you have complete ability to add specific users who have access. You can define their role. This is me. Again, these are all encrypted. And then I have these reports for which I have access to. You can see I have report and dataset. That's what was displayed in the navigation. I can change the ownership of individual asset if needed, or I can give access to all of them as view only. So I have different capabilities that I can manage through the APIs. So this is where I'm actually able to go down till an object level and either give elevated privileges or just view access or completely restrict individuals to see specific information. I've seen this very commonly used and asked because you'll always have those confidential reports on finance and others that only few users needs to have. And at the same time, you will have reports that everybody should see. And then there are reports that needs to be shared with only specific security groups or users. So all of that management can be easily done through this application. And then you have ability to add new assets and or edit these assets that can be displayed or can be shared with specific users. So it's not just at a tenant level, but at a user level, you have the ability to manage and maintain different objects.
Very cool. So one of the things I'm curious, you obviously put a lot in here for multi-tenant implementation. I guess there's not any rules about Power BI embedded that say it's always used by ISVs, and I'm imagining you've probably seen it used by ISVs and also non-ISV scenarios. Would you say that you see multi-tenant as the most common implementation of this, or do you see a good bit of single-tenant implementations as well?
I'll be very candid. We have more single-tenant users than multi-tenant.
Sure, that's totally fine.
Most of the ISVs are multi-tenant. We have enterprise customers who are using this for their internal reporting and internal management of Power BI as well. And for them, it's not multi-tenant, it's single-tenant. They care more about object level security at a single tenant.
Well, and I would say that that's not necessarily surprising in that, a lot of times ISVs usually have a staff of fairly savvy developers, and they're having that buy versus build discussion with themselves. Whereas it doesn't surprise me that customers are like, why would I want to go out and build this myself when I could just buy it from somebody? So that's not surprising, but it's cool to know that you certainly have accounted for both of those scenarios.
Yep. I just wanted to also talk about roles. You could basically define what each role can do. By default, it comes with 4 roles. You have ability to add additional roles and define what each of the role could do. So that was the demo. Let's look at the features and capabilities that are released as part of V1. We have functionality-driven API endpoints that the application can leverage and build its own experience. Ability to add unlimited customers onboarded into isolated workspaces and tenants. Distribute embedded capacity among multiple customers. Role-based access management. Authoring capabilities that allow users to build their own Power BI reports without any licenses. Bookmarks and the entire management of bookmarks. Ability to customize the theme by customer, by tenant. Scheduling and downloading reports as an email and actually subscribing, basically. Ability to export to PDF, JPEG, Excel, and other formats. And auto deployments of latest features if you are downloading this from the marketplace. Let's look at the logical architecture, how this application has been set up. We have the ISV application, assuming that this application already has authentication and some ability to manage authorization using the EmbedFAST APIs. But primarily, EmbedFAST, the app layer, is split into 2 components. We have the admin set of APIs, which help with token management, tenant management, user permissions, authorization rules, and overall metadata of roles and other metadata, I would say. And then we have user-specific APIs. So these are front-end experiences. We are looking at export, schedule, bookmarks, hide, show specific features and capabilities, edit capabilities. All of that are part of my user APIs. Now this acts as a wrapper around the Power BI REST APIs that are available, which interact with the Power BI tenant. So this is where, or this is how the EmbedFAST kind of interacts with your application and with the Power BI REST APIs.
Hey, I had one question there, Keshav. So are you then managing all of the service principal creation and everything else there as well? So when you spin up a new tenant, do you automatically create the service principal behind the scenes and set up the appropriate security permissions, or is there some administrative activity that needs to be done by an Azure admin behind the scenes there?
Yes, we have ability to create this SPNs or service principals by tenant through the application itself.
Awesome, that's good. Yeah.
And in fact, we are not just restricted to app owns data. This application would also work with user owns data. And depending on the type of application you set up, user access token would be generated accordingly.
Great.
I wanted to share a little more on the roadmap of what's coming. You saw the features from V1, but very soon we are planning to release an AKS hosted solution. We have in fact deployed this with one of the customer already, and it really scales and works well with AKS. Web widgets to access APIs, as I mentioned, this is an API only right now. In Q1 of 2024, we will have the web widgets that customers can use for or implementing their web frontend as well. We are adding enhanced usage tracking. We want to make sure that we are tracking things like load times, user experience, any errors, and build a very nice experience. And then eventually add a chargeback model in terms of percentage utilization. This will help customers define how they should charge their specific tenants. And then embedding Fabric objects. So this will enable us to add notebooks, the lakehouse, and other new objects that are being released as part of Fabric. So we are really, really excited for the future of this product, especially the Fabric objects. We are working closely with the product team to understand the APIs and the capabilities that will be released soon.
Great. Yeah, that's good to know that you're thinking forward on that roadmap. I'm curious if you have any information to share with us about how it's deployed today, and any information about pricing or how your customers can get started with this. I think would be great information to share as well.
Absolutely. Let me show you how easy it is to set up this application. I call it the 4-step process. Go to Marketplace, deploy EmbedFAST in your tenant. In your application, integrate the EmbedFAST components and the Power BI SDK, configure and set up tenants and user roles, and you're done. And you have your first report embedded within the application. It typically takes few days, considering that you need to provision the resources for the application, get the right access. But other than that, setting up or integrating EmbedFAST is pretty simple. And as part of our pricing model, we actually provide dedicated support and help for integration and getting the first report integrated within the application. And that takes me to my pricing slide as well. Again, the pricing is not finalized. We are still working on the pricing models. So we are planning to have two approaches. One is more of a subscription model where you can go to Marketplace and download and set it up. And the other model is more of IP share, where you would be able to purchase the solution to make any enhancements that may suit or can be customized to your application or customer's application. So that's the intent of these two pricing plans. Marketplace pricing is still work in progress. We are closely working with the Azure Marketplace team to enable it on Marketplace. And it will come with the initial setup and all the support required, and then ongoing, I would say, a minimum cost for any automatic upgrades and some technical support.
Great. So that one-time setup cost, is it kind of like consulting services that goes along with it, or is that just or something else?
Yes. So it's basically to make the customer familiar about what's available, how to integrate if they have any questions. Sometimes customers are not very familiar with Azure, so this will help them, our team will help them understand what services are needed, how to enable it. It's basically a white glove service to kind of integrate the application.
This is great information, Keshav. What's the best way for somebody looking to get started to get more information?
We have a lot of this information on our website. You can go to MAQsoftware.com EmbedFAST, that has the product catalog, links to documentation, video, introduction video, and guide to set up. I would say that would be the best place to get started. It also has pricing and other information. Then I have technical documentation, where you can get more information on all the APIs, what it does, how to access, how to use. And then if you have any specific questions on or need specific help, you can always reach us at sales@MAQSoftware.com.
Fantastic, great. And we'll make sure that we put all of these links in the description as well. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you can just click on one of the links in the description and it will take you right to the documentation, the website, and everything else. So this will be really helpful. So I think that covers everything. And I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to show us everything. Fantastic demo. It really addresses a lot of the, frankly, some of the shortcomings and the challenges that a lot of our customers face when embedding Power BI into their solutions. So I think this is absolutely a great solution for those scenarios, and really look forward to seeing it mature as you work through the roadmap features. So that's exciting to see. So thank you so much for taking that time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I work with many customers implementing Power BI embedded, and it's great to see kind of implementations that a lot of these common pitfalls that people run into in implementation. So I'm really excited about the prospect here of how partners can get get faster adoption of Power BI embedded. I think this will be great for that.
Thank you for having us on this episode. Our pleasure to give you guys a demo of what we'll be launching soon.
Great.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for attending. And on behalf of Chris and myself, thanks for joining us in this episode. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the Microsoft Partner Showcase. Take care, everybody.